Broads Media.
Well, I'm not pleased tonight. Shocker. You lose to the Atlanta Braves in a series at home. You follow that up by losing a series at home to the Cincinnati Reds. And you really no-showed tonight. Poor Zach Wheeler. He deserved way more from his offense. His defense didn't help him out either. And I don't give a damn that the weather was all over the place, because the weather's all over the place for both squads. And selfishly, I wanted to see you out there because, one, I wanted something to watch that mattered to me tonight. And two, let's see if you're battle-tested, huh? What's it going to look like in October? I promise you it's not sunny and 82. You're not living your best life in Florida, kicking it up when it's 91 degrees and beautiful. No. Cold, chilly, wearing face masks and long sleeves. So figure it the hell out. And you know what they did today? Nothing. They did nothing. Kyle Schwarber had a nice solo shot. And my guy, Brandon Marsh, came up to the plate, lefty. I like Rob giving him that chance. It didn't work out, but I'm okay with the idea. It's not as if Rojas is a weapon. He's not. He got his first hit of the season. It's an infield dribbler. He hasn't gotten it past the infield yet. Just want to highlight that. That's where we're at with Johan Rojas. No Bohm in the lineup today. Lineup isn't really the issue why you lost. You just couldn't produce in the very, 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 very limited amount of chances that you earned. It didn't start off good, though. Remember Nick Castellanos getting caught out on the base paths? And now I hear post-game from Rob Thompson that the reason why Nick Castellanos looks so lost out in right field is because the new scoreboard is really playing with him. He thinks he's closer to the wall than he really is, so now he's having a bunch of miscues. It does look like there's a problem. I just don't know if the problem's Nick Castellanos or if the wall is seriously causing him that many issues. To be fair, he was a good defender last year. Sometimes I think he's such a bad defender that the reason why he makes some of these spectacular grabs is because he's not close to the ball, whereas a real athlete with speed who covers a ton of ground would get there underneath where it doesn't need to look as wow and SportsCenter top 10-ish plays, like those grabs where he's running forward and he dives on his butt and he makes a snag to his left. Other athletes just sit underneath of it because they get there quicker. You know what I mean? So I've always had a weird time judging the Nick Castellanos experience out in right field. But I don't know what the Nick Castellanos experience is when he's at the plate either right now. He's just a mess. He's just a flat-out mess. I put him in the same conversation as Johan Rojas. And guess what? If you're ever being talked about and compared to him, it ain't good. All right, it's not good. So he's on my you-know-what list, and it's really pissing me off. Wheels was great. He did not piss me off. 92 pitches or so and finishes the game with 10 strikeouts. Yeah, there was a hit by pitch, and a couple of hits were hit nicely, don't get me wrong, but I'm not even going to go down that path of blaming that man because he is so damn good. He's working on some pitching. You hear about the split. Oh, that was a split, baby. I watched him get interviewed afterward. Some of those put-away pitches, oh, yeah, curve and a split. You could see the split. He's pumped to be able to say that now. Well, guess what? If you could throw it like that, I'd be so damn pumped, too. I hate this team right now, though. All right, 2-4 after their first 6 games is the complete opposite of what you promised me this year. And I know I keep hearing this from a bunch of fans out there, and it bothered me maybe after the first couple of games, but now I'm starting to kind of feel it too, even though we should be aware of this, but I constantly get this thrown at me. They're the same exact team as last year. They're not good at defense. They're very ice cold and very super hot. That's their offense, and then for the most part, you got pretty decent starting pitching, but your bullpen sometimes can blow up in your face. Isn't that the same as last year? And it bothered me because yes, you bring back a very similar team. You add a Whit Merrifield, which should be better pop off your bench, just in forms of a professional hitter. Not necessarily pop meaning a bunch of bombs, but meaning just pop veteran presence. It wasn't last year with the season on the line. Where do I go? At least you have a professional batter with a lot of experience. You were good enough to win the World Series last year. I just keep going back to that. Whether you think so or not, I believe that the Phillies were just as good as the team that won the entire thing last season in the Texas Rangers. So while we get angry that, well, they're the same team as last year, I thought that team last year should have won the World Series. But now that I'm experiencing it 6 games in instead of 3 games in, I feel you. I mean, I'll acknowledge I feel you. I do. It's annoying. It's part of the reason why I hate the regular season with this team. Because they're a pain in the ass. And they're so inconsistent. And you don't know what you're going to get on any given night. But I do feel that they lock in differently in the playoffs. So these are 2 totally different vibes for me. The playoffs, they come killer. The regular season, they follow the manager's lead. And the manager's lead is, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I got faith in these guys. Let them keep playing. And that's what he does in that very monotone, not very passionate, very blah voice. And I think the team really feeds off that. It's interesting because today is also a day where John Tortorella, just to see the flip side of it all, really talked about what it means to coach and how he handles things. And I honestly didn't think that I'd even go this route, but I might as well play it because why the hell not? I thought John Tortorella, I just want to compare this to the way the Phillies sort of handle their business. And the difference is the Flyers are coming down the late stretch of the year, a handful of regular season games left, trying to get themselves into a playoff spot as a rebuilding squad, while this team is in the first 6 games of 162. This would be equivalent to almost being in one period of the first hockey game of the season. I mean, if we're being honest here. But yeah, I mean, it would be similar to maybe the Phillies having 6 or 7 regular season games to go. They got 2 series left. They're trying to win the NL East. They're going toe-to-toe with the Braves, and we want to see that attitude switch. So I'm not saying it's apples to apples by any means, but sometimes that Rob Thompson boring snooze approach, all right, dude, all right, give me a little something more. I love Rob to death, to be fair. This is me just being an absolute jag-off. Take a listen to Tortso. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. This got me going, and I can rip Torts with the best of them. This got me going.
This comes down to, right, it always comes down, oh, they're going to quit on him. It follows me around. And so be it. If a player's going to quit on me or players are going to quit on me because I'm trying to make them better people and better athletes, you got the wrong damn coach here and you got the wrong damn people here. So I'm not sure what goes on. My job is I am going to push athletes. And I try to stay away from I have other things on my mind that I don't give you. I was in control the other night. What I said I meant. And quite honestly, when I watch the tape now, I'm more concerned than just the second period. Because I'm so proud of the team getting here. And I guess now the narrative out there is, because I've heard from other people, that they're young, they're not supposed to be here. Bullshit. We're here. We're here. Face it. And let's be better. And I don't think we're ready to be better. And that's my problem with us right now. And it is my job. I have not done a good enough job to get them over the hump after playing those 7 games. And then each game as it goes down, we have 6 left. I haven't done a good enough job to make them understand we have to be different now. We have to be at a different level. That's my frustration with me, and that's my frustration with the team. And if people can't handle it, so be it.
Wow. I mean, it's just incredible. Now, I love Rob to death, all right? He's constantly getting this team far, and they clearly have a connection and a relationship that works because their little, I guess, community in that clubhouse is strong, and they love one another. So it works, and you can't compare hockey coaches to Major League Baseball managers. It's not the same exact job, but it just is interesting to hear the difference from what I heard from Rob tonight, and I can't imagine him pushing Nick Castellanos to be better. They probably just pat him on the back and say, hey, grab your bat and go back up there. Hey, we believe in you. We see the back of the baseball card. Trust me, you'll start raking eventually, and maybe not. I don't know. I mean, it's been a lot of years now, and I really haven't been satisfied with Nick. A little bit last season there, but he died out and fizzled out and looked exactly the same as he does throughout his poor stretches. When he goes down bad, it's not like anything else, okay? It is actually destroying your lineup. It is a tone killer. I always talk about the positives and how you can grab momentum and run with it. If you win a few series in a row and you go on the road and now you're facing a team that's very difficult to beat. Let's say the Orioles are fantastic again, and now you're facing Baltimore, leaders of the AL East, are on the road. I mean, those type of things is great if you're winning series prior, heading into that with confidence and the momentum rides it out. But the way Nick plays, he is an absolute destroyer of any sort of positivity when he goes down bad. As rough as Rojas is, he doesn't have that same feel as Nick. Now, it's still bad, okay? It's still awful, but the Nick one is so awful that it's almost in its own little category. And I just wonder sometimes on a very side topic-y, I'm not saying Rob's bad. I'm not saying anything like that. I like Rob, but for some reason I got sidetracked into this combo thinking, how do you handle a struggling Rojas? How do you handle a struggling Nick Castellanos? How do you handle someone like Trey Turner that might have a couple of more ugly, horrendous defensive sequences where there's standard fundamental plays that he screws up at an elite pace? What do you say to these guys, and how does it differ between? This is what happens when you lose, by the way. I just played an almost 2-minute press conference of John Tortorella because the Phillies can't win baseball games. Do you know how angry that makes me? Do you know how pissed off I am that I have to waste my breath during a Phillies show? If this was Flyers talk, then I'd be here all day loving every second of it because I thought that was tremendous. But in no way, shape, or form, after you drop your second straight series, you lose to the Cincinnati Reds. Zach Wheeler's beautiful day is wasted. All right, the whole day for me, 1 o'clock, nope, 4 o'clock, nope, pushing it back, nope, 7:10, nope, 7:30, hey, approximately 8 o'clock, and I felt like Porter from The Sandlot. Play ball! As he puts his catcher's mitt down, hanging out with Benny. That's his name, right? Benny the Jet? Why does that sound wrong? No, that's right. Come on. Benny the Jet Rodriguez. Isn't that what it is? Access denied. What do you mean access denied? Did I go to some porno website by typing in Benny the Jet? Benny the Jet Rodriguez. See, dude, come on. Questioning my sports knowledge. Benny Rodriguez. I mean, come on now. Does it give me statistics? I'm looking up Benny Rodriguez. What am I doing? Come on. You see what you're doing to me? Now you play the Washington Nationals. I swear to you, if this thing gets ugly, I'm going to lose it. Now, this weekend's going to be a little all over the place for me, just to give you a heads up. Going to WrestleMania on Saturday. Sunday, my daughter's getting baptized, and then there's WrestleMania Day 2. I'm not going to that one, but I will be tuning in and watching. So, just in regards to Phillies post-game shows and all, and maybe it would be best for my mental health, swear to you, because I might need to see a few games play out against Washington. I don't know. I always say, rule number one here at Broads Media is you never trust just when I say a weekend show is going to come up. If you haven't realized that by now, then shame on you. But if you're new here and I say, yeah, make sure you check that, I end up doing more than I say I will because it's something crazy happens and I want to talk about it because these lips, they don't stop yapping. And it's a problem. My wife says it all the time. That's why I'm going to stop yapping and I'm going to take some anytime hotline calls, all right? So let's take a listen after this game from the great people who called in.
Yo, bro, this is Skylar calling from New Jersey. Just finished watching the Phillies game, and we wasted another freaking gem by Zach Wheeler. 10 strikeout performance, absolutely brilliant. But the offense, aside from Schwarbaum, we didn't even deserve to win this game, bro. I mean, a 4-hour rain delay after a game that was supposed to start at 1, then at 4, and then pushed back to 8 o'clock after this weird wedding rumor that I've been hearing about. Like, come on, bro. Come on. You can't waste another stud performance by Zach Wheeler like that. You just can't. I almost feel bad for the guy because Zach Wheeler, all he does is perform. And the only offense that we got was Kyle Schwarber. I mean, come on. We gotta be better than that, bro. Again, we just gotta be better, man.
I agree. I love that call, by the way. Dude, you had me dying over here. That's so funny. What the hell was that? Tom McCarthy's quote tweeting Citizens Bank Park's Twitter account because there was a rumor circulating that there's a wedding there tomorrow. That's why they were doing everything in their power to play instead of canceling the game and playing on Thursday because everyone was saying that, well, both teams really want to fit this one in so they can have an off day tomorrow. Well, you do know if you don't play today, you have an off day today, right? I mean, you still have your off day. But whatever, they were pushing for it. Selfishly, I wasn't going to the game. So quite frankly, I didn't care. And from my personal experience of what I wanted, just because I wanted to watch baseball, it was a little strange early on. JT Realmuto should have had one in foul territory. But then the Phillies got an advantage as well because the same thing happened to the Reds. The defense was so sloppy, but that's not anything that's new with this team. So I'm sorry. It's weird with it being Stott. For Stott to have an error, I mean, Stotty too hot. He's making backhand grabs and sliding on his ass, turning two, flipping it over to Trey. But there was a sequence when Trey had a little hesitation for a turn two, which I don't know if he would have had if he didn't have any, 2-3 second delay as a 3 second delay. Come on, man. You know how much 3 seconds is for these guys to get down first base? 0.05 second delay. I don't think that hesitation really changed the outcome of it, but it's a common theme with this team. And yeah, Zach Wheeler did not have the defense behind him. Nick wasn't good out in right field. But it's killer. I wish Marsh delivered. I would have lost my mind. I would have been insufferable if he cashed in. I do like Rob Thompson, though, giving him the lefty-lefty. Now, there weren't that many other options here. If you were keeping Bohm Rojas' spot in the lineup is just so ugly. I can't get over it. But if Marsh went lefty-lefty and popped in something beautiful, it would have been beautiful. But unfortunately, he did not. And, riding the hot bat is something that I can at least respect at a topper instead of just not giving him that chance. So keep Marsh doing his thing. That's all. Keep Marsh in that lineup and let him do his thing and cook. Let's go to Amadeo.
I guess we just can't live off the high of maybe having 2 wins in a row. But, it's the Phillies. That's never going to be the case. They score a lot of runs yesterday, so I guess we should have seen the pattern that they probably would have gone dead tonight. Today was just terrible. Waiting for the game to start in general, never knowing what the actual start time is going to be. Is it 1 o'clock? Is it 4 o'clock? Oh, it's actually 8 o'clock. We have to wait the entire goddamn day for this game to start, and it was just ugly. It was ugly throughout the entire thing. If you want to blame the weather, it's not even an excuse because the Reds had to deal with the same exact thing. Defense continues to make errors. Bryson Stott's error led to a run. Yeah, Zach Wheeler had some command issues during the game, but I fully don't put this on him. He had 10-plus strikeouts, but yes, he does have to make better pitches in certain situations, but he is completely far from the issue. The Phillies had 1 extra base hit tonight, and that was Kyle Schwarber's home run. Other than that, single, maybe an infield hit here or there. What did the Reds do the entire game, even though they didn't have that many hits? It was all extra base hits. So they did the one thing that was right and get the balls into the gap, and the Phillies did not.
No, they did not. And I hate when I go to post-game live, and obviously I love Ricky, and I love Barkhand, and I love the crew there, so it's not really a knock on them. But they always, Ruben Amaro says this a lot, you got to tip your cap to the other guy. Frankie Montas did this. I just hate that. And sometimes they're right. You know, if you face Garrett Cole, then I'm more willing to go, what are you going to do? If you face Justin Verlander, if you face one of the all-time greats, if Jacob deGrom mows down 15 people in a game, sometimes you shrug your shoulders and say, that guy's not human. You know how sometimes we stare at Bryce Harper and go, dude, you're a magician, all right? You're an alien. You're not from planet Earth. Well, unfortunately, there's other teams with guys like that, and they're just the pitching version. And sometimes they just do something so spectacular, you got to do the acknowledgement nod, and you move on to the next day. But I can't live with those type of situations with the Frankie Montases of the world, regardless on what his stats look like after day one, regardless on if he's trying to have a bounce-back season from some things that happened previously with him, and the New York Yankees and this and that. Whatever, dude. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. You have to do more. You have to come up large. You got to be clutch. You got to be smarter on the bases. Do not let Nick Castellanos off the hook for getting picked off and caught stealing, however they want to label it there, early in the ball game. I don't know. Maybe we score first. Maybe we score first. And then Zach Wheeler with the lead, I don't know, something else kicks in, another gear. They only have one on the board, but all right, the Phillies go through the first 3 innings and shut out the Reds. Now there's something to it. Now the momentum in-game is starting to fly through the arm of Zach Wheeler. You survive one other than Kyle Schwarber hits his solo bomb. Now it's 2-0. Well, hold on a second. Come on now. Let's take the next call.
Bros, I got a hard time seeing how this offense is going to be good this year. It's the same exact story as it was last year. They strike out way too many times. Nick Castellanos, he's just a black hole in this lineup way more often than he has not been in his Phillies career. And it's like, I thought we were going to change some things, but it just looks like the same story. Maybe they're pressing, but like, the Phillies come out in a 6-game homestand and win 2 games. You lost 2 series. Meanwhile, the Braves are probably not going to lose 2 series in the month of April. It's just really frustrating. I was hoping our offense would look better or look more like it did yesterday, where we were getting guys on base, but we're just taking all these fastballs down the middle, and we wasted 2 really good performances from Zach Wheeler. I like some of the bullpen guys who have come out as of late. But overall, this offense needs to get going. This offense needs to start hitting. And Brandon Marsh needs to be moved up in the lineup because that dude is a beast.
Hey, listen, I'm all here for it, you know? I mean, I saw Bob Wankel of Crossing Broad throw this out there. If your bottom of the lineup's going to be Rojas, if they're not going to produce, then maybe you do have to move Kyle Schwarber. But, you know, if you could find ways to have success down there, and this is more maybe for the argument to keep Brandon Marsh down towards the bottom, so these one-shot solo shots or whatever, maybe because your bottom of your lineup could produce. Like last year, everyone complained that Stott was batting too low, that Marsh was batting too low, that Stott's OBP was too high for him to hit there. Yet Kyle Schwarber leading off gets him to the plate more and then also has the luxury of potentially being a couple run knock, just like you won when you always throw the debate around that Schwarber should be batting 4th because, well, he can knock in a bunch more runs. Well, I mean, it could be applied to guys who can actually show some life at the bottom of your lineup. And if Nick shows the hell up, then that makes the length of this lineup so much deeper to the point where you have 2 top 4 batting rotations. That's sort of how I look at it. You would have 2 top 4s. You break it up in half. But if Nick is this black hole, and that's an excellent set of words to describe it here, it sucks the life out of you. It literally sucks the blood right out like you're a damn vampire. And they end up sucking the life out of the whole lineup. The whole lineup. I don't know how much higher you can go, though, with Marsh, because as much as I'm a big fan of him, he's not going anywhere in the top 4. He's not going above Bohm. Not going above JT. I would put Bohm at cleanup, JT 5, Stott up there. That's how good your lineup is. I'm with you, though. Look, I am riding the Brandon Marsh hype train, and I'm all in on the excitement for what he can be and how he's been swinging a nice stick early on here. But legitimately, you have so much, maybe one more spot because Nick is that putrid. But other than that, that's sort of where he is. So you say that you don't think the Braves is going to lose a series or 2 series in the entire month of April? Let's take a look at what they have to see if that's true. On Friday, they play a 3-game set at home against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are 4-3. The Braves are 3-2 right now. So just keep that in mind. Wait, does that mean... Oh, the game was postponed. I was going to say, wait a second. Does that mean they dropped the series to Chicago? All right, that game was postponed, so they split a 1-1, which should have been a 3-game set. Then they host the Mets for 4. They're going to win that series. Then they go to Miami for 3. They're going to win that series. They play the Houston Astros in Houston for 3. They host the Rangers for 3. They can lose a couple series, all right? They can lose a couple series. I know you were just being tongue-in-cheek and just having some fun with it, but they can lose a series. 2 series. They play Miami again. They play the Cleveland Guardians, and then they see Seattle for 2 games in the month of April, and then that bleeds into May. They got a couple lost series on that schedule of theirs. As much as I'm jealous as hell of the Braves. All right, everybody. Take the off day. Reset. We'll see what happens this weekend. Love you guys to death. I'll see you all on the next one.